Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Carlo Pernat, paddock veteran, manager and provocateur, spoke openly in a Telenord special about the state of MotoGP and the decisions shaping riders' futures. His take blended personal reflection on health in Genoa, sharp technical reading, Aprilia versus Ducati, and bold speculation about Marc Márquez's next move. A return to Honda is possible if the factory becomes competitive again. Fabio Quartararo admitted he was impressed by Toprak Razgatlioglu after the Turkish rider's first public MotoGP test at Valencia. The one-day, post-race session was hampered by overnight rain, but once the track dried in the afternoon, Razgatlioglu put in a performance that caught the eye and prompted praise from his Yamaha stablemate. A detailed look at the 2025 MotoGP data suggests that claims of Aprilia displacing Ducati are premature. While Noali has unquestionably improved, and Marco Bezzecchi delivered standout results, a closer read of wins, podiums and underlying context shows Ducati remain the class of the field. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Pernat issued a warning to Ducati and praised Aprilia's sudden step forward, suggesting the RSGP may now be a genuine challenger to the Desmosedici. He credits Márquez as the differentiator this season but sees Aprilia's growth as a structural threat. Aprilia has arrived and stepped on the gas. In some ways this year's RSGP looked better than the Desmosedici. This is less a hot take and more a competitive diagnosis. Ducati can't be complacent. Rivals are closing the technical gap. On rider loyalties, Pernat asserts Bagnaia is firmly with Ducati. For Márquez, however, the door to Honda remains open. If Honda regains competitiveness and offers a project he believes in, Pernat expects Marc could return. Pernat also noted the commercial appeal such a move would have for MotoGP promoters. Bagnaia loves Ducati, Marc loves Honda. If Honda continues to grow technically, Marc won't think twice about coming back. Pernat mixes sporting and narrative logic. A Márquez to Honda story would satisfy technical ambitions and the championship's storytelling needs under new ownership. Pernat flagged three concrete concerns for Márquez's future: the condition of his injured arm, the Desmosedici reaching its development ceiling, and the rising strength of competitors. That arm has been through a lot. The Desmosedici may have hit its limit, and everyone else is getting stronger. Pernat's realism tempers speculation. He's not rooting for drama but pointing out the structural and physical limits that will determine outcomes. Turning to the next generation, Pernat praised teams that rebuilt after a rocky season and highlighted Marco Bezzecchi's growth as evidence of effective nurturing. Bezzecchi has become astonishingly strong. That level of progress shows the team gave him what he needed. The rider market isn't just talent, it's the environment teams create. Pernat's appraisal underlines how much development infrastructure matters. Pernat's interview combined hometown warmth and paddock bluntness, personal health, technical analysis and market-savvy speculation. His bottom line on Márquez is conditional, not definitive. A return to Honda is imaginable only if the factory rebuilds convincingly. For teams and fans, Pernat's message is a reminder. Next season's storylines will hinge on machines, bodies, and the decisions made off-track. Rain left the morning session patchy and damp, limiting running across the field. Teams focused on getting useful time in the box until conditions improved. Only in the afternoon did riders get meaningful track time and a truer measure of pace. A stop-start day that favored riders who could extract information quickly once the circuit was usable. Despite it being his first public outing in a MotoGP machine, Razgatlioglu finished the test just 1.3 seconds off the best lap set by Raúl Fernandez, an eye-catching gap given the circumstances. His manager, Kenan Sofuoglu, felt there was further room to improve. For a three-time World Superbike champion making an initial step into MotoGP, the margin was notable and encouraging. Yamaha's best performer in 2025, Fabio Quartararo, was candid after the session. He explained the day had been rushed but acknowledged how much Razgatlioglu had ridden and how fast he appeared once the track allowed consistent laps. "I saw him make many more laps, and I was pretty surprised by how fast he was today. I think he's going to be better than I expect next year." Praise from an established MotoGP frontrunner carries weight. Quartararo's assessment frames Toprak as a rapid adapter rather than a curiosity. Quartararo ended the test 15th on the timesheets, and roughly 0.7 seconds quicker than Razgatlioglu. A respectable margin, but not so large as to dismiss the Turkish rider's pace given his limited experience on the bike and the day's conditions. Timesheets told one part of the story. Rapid adaptation and race pace running supplied another. For Razgatlioglu, the Valencia outing suggested potential that could grow with mileage. For Quartararo, the test raised two concurrent notes: respect for a newcomer's speed and continued doubt about Yamaha's V4 package. Quartararo remains undecided about his own future beyond 2026, insisting Yamaha must make significant winter progress to secure his commitment. The headline takeaway was twofold: Toprak impressed, and Yamaha still has homework to do before convincing its lead rider. Valencia's rain-interrupted test delivered a compact, revealing snapshot. Toprak Razgatlioglu adapted quickly and produced pace that surprised a MotoGP frontrunner, while Fabio Quartararo used the same day to underline both cautious optimism about a teammate's potential and lingering concerns about the V4's readiness. The winter will tell whether that promise translates into a sustained challenge in 2026. Ducati's 2024 season was exceptional, almost total domination, and while 2025's figures are lower, they remain historically strong. Compared with 2024's near-perfect campaign, 2025 shows a small retreat, but not a collapse. From the data, in 2024 Ducati collected 19 wins from 20 races, 95%, and 53 podiums from 60, 88.3%, scoring 722 of a possible 740 points, is almost equal to 98%. In 2025 the factory still achieved 17 wins from 22 races, 77.3%, 44 podiums from 66, 66.6%, and scored 768 out of 814 possible points, is almost equal to 94%. The numbers frame 2025 as the team's second-best year, a dip from record-breaking dominance, but far from evidence of dethronement. Two structural factors seriously affect the comparison. Ducati fielded fewer machines in 2025, and Marc Márquez's injury removed a major competitive asset late in the season. Prima Pramac Racing's switch away from Ducati cost the manufacturer 2 Desmosedici entries, a 25% reduction in factory-relevant bikes, and the loss of the 2024 champion squad's contributions, 3 wins, 16 podiums. Separately, Márquez missed the final 4 rounds following a shoulder injury sustained in Indonesia. Notably, 3 of Aprilia's 4 2025 victories came during Márquez's absence: Australia, Portugal, Valencia. Reduced grid presence and ill-timed absences help explain why Ducati's raw dominance eased this year, context that weakens claims of a changing hierarchy. Aprilia enjoyed real gains: more wins, more podiums, and a notable points increase. Yet growth does not automatically translate into parity with Ducati. From the data, Aprilia rose from 302 points in 2024, is almost equal to 41% share in the cited context, to 418 points in 2025, is almost equal to 51.4% share, an increase of roughly 10 percentage points in the measurements cited by the analysis. Aprilia went from 1 win in 2024 to 4 in 2025, with Marco Bezzecchi responsible for 3 of those victories. The progress is undeniable, and a source of pride for Noali, but Puigdemont argues it remains insufficient to name Aprilia a current rival on equal terms. Even Aprilia's lead figures refused to declare immediate parity. Bezzecchi tempered celebration with pragmatism, pointing to Ducati's depth and the unpredictability of each new season. We'd like to be Ducati's rivals, but every year is a new story. Ducati will still start as favorite. When a frontrunner publicly urges continued work rather than complacency, the claim of an imminent power shift looks premature. Aprilia's 2025 is a clear step forward, a validating season for a team that has climbed the ladder. But numbers examined in context make the case that Ducati's superiority is far from erased. Reduced Ducati entries and Márquez's injury help explain the gap shrinkage. They do not, however, erase an established performance advantage. The headline-friendly narrative of a changing guard is attractive, but the data and paddock voices suggest something more modest: growth for Aprilia, endurance for Ducati, and another off-season in which the balance of power will be tested anew. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!